This is Jim Emter, Van Ahn Co, Alexandria, Minnesota, with your closing grain and livestock comments for January 7th, 2019. Corn market down 3/4 cent. Soybeans up 2 3/4. The wheat market down 1 to 3 cents here today. As you look to the overall news, that's the very problem, a lack thereof. We've got some delegation in China trying to work out some differences there, some optimism around the trade negotiations. We've got basically circumstances right now where the market seems to be caught in this range here a little bit. We've got markets like meal that are on the verge of breakouts here, but then we look to the soybeans or corn and we're kind of stuck here in these ruts remaining. So we'll kind of watch to that base here, kind of watch to see how these negotiations go, what kind of verbiage we get coming out of it. Reports of a top Chinese official that was basically released from the negotiations indicating that, hey, we may be a little closer than we think, and some optimism remains around because of that. When you really look to the price counts of beans, though, we kind of look at a 926 to 940 area as your first key area of interest for marketing. Next area sends up at 976 and then 1041. And right, wrong, or indifferent, we just don't feel like 1041's in play right now. So we're really looking at this 926 to 976 area off the March beans as your key marketing window. And whether or not we can get all the way to that or not, yet to be seen. Nothing out of the question. Crazy things can happen, but it's just more of a matter of that's where Van Ahn is zoning into for beans. Corn market, we're kind of looking at a key resistance point between 83 and 86 off the March here. That's 383 to 386. If we get extension above that, we look for the 395 to $4 area off the March, but right now that seems like not where corn wants to go, and with no government report here this Friday, we're kind of limited in news that may take us there. On the feeder cattle, up 110 on the day. Live cattle up 127.5. Hog market down 5 cents to 52.5. So in the cattle markets, we've seen cutouts weaken a little bit on Friday. We saw cash undertones remain somewhat steady-ish, and that kind of allowed the board price to gain a little optimism. Reports of some holes here as you work into later spring, early summer is kind of the rumors around. So this has given the feeder cattle, live cattle a bit of a lift, and seasonally we start to come in here to some stronger buy areas. The hog market, on the other hand, really struggling here off the front end and mid-range. We're breaking down here a little bit. We're still at key support levels, so it's not like we're running into new areas, but it just seems like $60 seems to be home with the $7 basis. That puts us near 53 cash, and we just kind of got to watch that index and look for cash to give us the undertone. African swine fever continues to be a big issue over in China, but we just haven't seen the demand without weekly sales to really give us that confirmation of uplift. This has been Jim Emter, Van Ahn Co, Alexandria, Minnesota. Trading in futures and options involves risk of loss and is not suitable for all producers. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This is a solicitation. Have a great afternoon.